Parenting is chaos, laughter, and love. It's the hardest, happiest ride you'll ever take. So real mamas, let's get talking. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, and subscribe for more parenting tips. Hey there, beautiful mamas, and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about the gray area. So, young children under the age of 8 cannot comprehend what the gray area is. For them, it's everything is just black or white, yes or no. Parents will notice that with their children, they make requests that receives a gray response. So such as, we'll see, that's usually how we'll see. We'll see, or I don't know, ask me later. And often the child will just continue asking us because they want a definitive answer. They need a yes or a no. And you'll actually be surprised that most of our kids prefer to have a no, for you to say no, than to have that we'll see, because they don't know what that gray area is. And because of the black and white thinking in young children, who do not understand the unforeseen circumstances that if they keep nagging us, will actually change our minds. That's what we do, and it's really, really bad. We really have to stick to our words. Therefore, parents must be very careful not to promise anything to a child unless they are certain that it will happen. Like, I'm talking about 100% certain that you're going to do this. If parents are not positive that they can't keep their word or carry through a plan, then they should not discuss it with their child at all. Like, don't even mention it. Okay? Keep it to yourself. Literally. Okay? Whatever you say, you can never unsay. We have to keep our promise. So now, sometimes we're at a loss and it's not in our control. And I'll give you the example. My son really wanted to go to the park, and I really wanted to take him. And it was a great day, but I had so much things that I was juggling that day, and I couldn't. So I told him, you know what? Maybe tomorrow after school, I'll take you to the park. And he was like excited, and he was like, yeah, but I can't control the weather. And when I said that, I didn't check the weather, and unfortunately it rained. And then when I picked him up and I said, I'm sorry, we can't go to the park because it's raining, he just had a full-blown tantrum out. He was like, but you told me you would take me to the park. And I was at a total loss. I'll be honest. As much as I tried to explain to him that I had not known, the circumstances, he was just inconsolable. So therefore, whatever you say, you can really never unsay it. The best way to prevent such a scenario is to avoid planning out loud. Just keep it to yourself. That's all I can tell you. It's hard because we want to make them feel good, but he would have felt much better if I just said, no, we're not going to the park today, than to say, oh, I'll take you tomorrow, because we don't know what's going to happen. So it's really important to mean what you say. So I want to give this example to you. After a frantic morning of a hectic preparation, of all the children, everyone was dressed in their matching outfits, and the food was packed in the trunk. We were planning a barbecue with friends at a park. As we piled into the car, two of the kids started fighting. Who's gonna sit next to the baby? Have you had that before? Everyone wants to sit next to the baby, even though it's the most uncomfortable place ever. So I, whose nerves were by now completely fried, I turned around in my seat and I just yelled at them and was like, if the fighting doesn't stop this second, we're just staying home. All the children in the car knew that I had no intention of staying home. After a whole morning of me preparing for this event, it was quite clear to them that that was not something I would miss. But with this one statement, I most likely created a scenario that lowered my credibility in my children's eyes. They now understood that I don't always mean what I say. And there are times that I don't carry through with my words. They understood that they can't trust me at all. Additionally, my statement was ineffective in stopping the fighting because I unwillingly referenced the argument by speaking openly about it. And then you have some parents, that resort to unthinkable threats that they would never dream of carrying out. This greatly diminishes their credibility and plants deeper seeds of insecurity in their children. And it's not good to do it. So just don't. If you don't mean it, don't say it. If a statement that you made is dangerous or impossible to implement, it should not, under any circumstances, be carried out. I remember a time when I made such an error. I had told the boys that after I finished a few more things in the kitchen, why is everything around the kitchen? We would go shopping for new shoes. They were extremely excited about the trip, but after the initial elation wore off, they began badgering me after, about when we would be leaving. Out of extreme frustration, I said, if you ask me one more time when we are leaving, we will not go shopping for the shoes today. The children continued to badger me, even though my true intention was not to cancel the trip. That planned shoe shopping trip should have been rescheduled. I should have kept my word. Even though I once said, if you don't get into the car now, I will leave you here in the parking lot. We should never actually carry that out. We should not carry that threat, okay? If a statement, is dangerous and it's impossible to implement, you should not, under any circumstances, carry that threat out. Okay, mamas, I'm not saying that, okay? So please understand me, because we do not want to leave our kids and put them in a dangerous situation, okay? What I'm saying here is that any single time you're in a situation, where you find yourself threatening your kid in a way that you're not going to carry it out, meaning I will not be taking you to the park, or I will not take you to the shoe store in my case, okay? Carry it out. That trip should be canceled, okay? It just shows our children that we are credible for our words, and we don't want to lose any credits with them. We want to show them that our words have meaning, and we actually carry out what we say. We act on our promises, okay? We want them to grow also in carrying out their promises, that words actually have action. So there you go, mamas. Comment below. Love to hear what you guys are thinking. And until next time, continue being the most amazing mama you can be. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, and subscribe for more parenting tips.